Hello, Callsign Latrobe here, and I'll be reviewing another dogfight. This time it's Ammo and his P-47 Mary against the 109 K4. So let's take a look at his fight. Looking at the film, we see that the fight has already started. You told me that you never saw him coming and only saw him after you heard his guns. This is mistake number 1. You need to be looking around and be aware at all times. It will always be the one you don't see coming that gets you. Fortunately, the 109 did miss his shot. Now, first thing you should know when entering a fight is the strengths and weaknesses of both aircraft. If you know what both planes are capable of and your opponent doesn't, then that gives you a huge advantage in the fight. First, the P-47M. The P-47M is a very superb dogfighter. Like all P-47s, it's excellent in a dive and has amazing high-speed handling. The turbo supercharger in the P-47's engine gives it amazing performance at high altitude. At the altitude this fight is taking place at, you won't see any huge engine performance advantage over the K4, but your larger wing will help you turn tighter than him in the thinner air. You also have your flaps to help you turn a bit tighter. The P-47 has great flaps that deploy at rather high speeds. This can give you a slight edge you need to turn the tables on the K4, but be careful. Using flaps will slow you down, and unless you're going downhill, the P-47 isn't the quickest plane to pick up speed again. The P-47 has a rather okay climb rate on military power, and a very good climb rate on WEP, but you have very short WEP, so use it wisely. The 109 K4 is also a very superb dogfighter. Its powerful engine gives it a great climb rate on military power and an amazing climb rate on WEP. It also has a lot of WEP to use. The K4 also picks up speed very quickly and has great flaps to help it turn a bit tighter. However, the K4's flaps deploy at a much lower speed than a P-47's. The 109s, however, are not very good in a dive. At just over 400 miles per hour, they start suffering from compressibility and their controls start becoming very stiff. The powerful engine can give the 109 some torque issues at low speed, sometimes making it difficult to roll right. In this fight, the 109 K4 has a better climb rate. However, you can outdive the K4 and use your superb high-speed handling against his compressibility. You can also maybe catch him off guard with your high-speed flaps, but the K4 can out-accelerate you and gain speed faster, and he also has twice the WEP. So the 109 is off to your 3 o'clock here and turning into you for another attack run. As you do, turning into this 109 is the best course of action to take right now, but the 109 sees this, breaks off his attack, and enters a lag pursuit to get onto your 6 o'clock. You avoid his shot quite nicely here, and you're using good barrel roll defense, but the 109 stays in his lag pursuit and uses the vertical to keep on your 6 o'clock. Lag pursuit puts his nose behind you and outside your turn. This reduces the amount of G's he pulls, retains his E or even gains speed, and keeps from overshooting. The best way to defeat this is to tighten your turn and force the flight path overshoot. This was a good attempt where you combine flaps and throttle control to almost force an overshoot, but the 109 uses the vertical and lag pursuit to thwart your attempt and keep behind you. Now you're using the 109's weaknesses against him by diving straight down. The 109 will start reaching compression speeds and will either break off his attack, be going too fast to turn with you, or fully compress and crash. These aileron rolls are a little risky since it'll only take 130mm from his gun to kill you. I would recommend doing at least a barrel roll straight down, or throwing at least a few turns to throw off his aim. But the 109 misses his shots and breaks off to keep from compressing. He then makes the mistake of turning rather than using his speed and climbing advantage to outclimb you. This lets you easily get on his 6 o'clock. The 109 makes a second mistake here by reversing his turn, which puts him squarely in your sights. You put a good burst into him and damage him pretty well, but unfortunately it's not enough to kill him. You get another good shot opportunity here, but you miss your shot. It looks like you threw in some right rudder which threw your shot off. K4 actually gets himself into a tail slide here, probably unintentionally, but here's a good chance to either be a bit more passive, climb above him and kill him with altitude, or as you do, be aggressive, turn into him and keep up the attack. Both would be good choices and neither is wrong. Climbing above him would have given you the altitude advantage, which lets you dictate the fight, and you can slowly work the K4 with boom and zoom tactics. Being aggressive and turning into him keeps the pressure on him and forces him to keep maneuvering, which prevents him from gaining any speed or altitude, and you might land a shot on him as he recovers from the tail slide. The 109 tries to lose you with some barrel roll defense of his own, but you do a good job of keeping with him. K4 is quickly running out of options and makes one last mistake, and this time you don't miss. Some things you did well in this fight is you seem to have a very good understanding of ACM. You also used your strengths against the 109's weaknesses very well, and you made good on most of your shots. You also have pretty good throttle and flap control as well. Some things you can work on are your situational awareness. You never saw the K4 until you heard him miss his first shot. When in an area that may have enemy fighters in it, you must keep your head on a swivel and always be looking around. It will always be the one you don't see that kills you. Your overshoots could use a little work as well. Your moves were good and you almost got the flight path overshoot you needed, but you reversed your turn a little too early several times, and the K4 just dropped back in on your 6 o'clock for a shot attempt. It was a very well fought fight against someone who clearly knew what they were doing, and it was decided by the one who could land hits when their opponent made a mistake. I hope this review helps you, and I'll see you in game.